Oh, can I share my screen? Alrighty. I can too. How good's that, eh? How good's that? How good is that? Oh, going live, eh? Going live. I have my microphone. Is my microphone still working? I think it is. I think it is. Hey. Hello, guys. I thought I'd come on live today because, yeah, I don't think I've actually done a live in a long time. So I wanted to just come on and say hello as I'm just going through my charts right now. I'm just going through some markets right now, and I thought, hey, why not do it live with in front of you guys and just say hello? And hey, NZ. Hey, Carlos. Dallas, Texas. Hey, guys. Well, obviously, some of you guys have watched my shorts. You've obviously watched my videos on YouTube. But I thought, why not come on and do a live for you guys today? And just go over the markets. And again, this is the first time we're using YouTube's lives for a while. So I thought I'd come on and just do a live for you guys today. Again, because I'm sitting here for the last couple of hours anyway, just looking at the market. So I thought I'd come on live and walk through some stuff. No, not that quick. Not that quick. You should do more lives. Market moves quick. No, not that quick. My analysis is more swing trading anyway. Not that day trading. Like, oh my goodness, that's happening right now. It's like not really like that. Mine's more the swing trading type of approach from there. Hey, from NZ. Hey, New Zealand in the house, hey? How good's that? New Zealand in the house. Watching your videos every day. Fantastic. User. Fantastic. Hey. It's 3 a.m. in Israel. We've got Israel in the house, do we? How good's that? Nice. Nice. So yeah, guys, I'm just doing some analysis across the markets right now. Just seeing what's obviously I did my market update for you guys or who watched the video today based on what I see with the actual stock market, what's happening with the stock market right now. The really big thing is what's swing trading / momentum trading. What that is, Carlos, swing trading is more where I'm looking to get in and I'm looking to benefit from a really big move and not a short-term move. Day trading, scalping, shorter-term trading, you're typically only capturing a smaller move within the markets. So therefore, one, you're going to be active most of the time. You're going to be really active a lot of the times. And generally, it's very hard to generate a really big profit on one trade when doing that. One thing that I've found myself trading the markets has been, one thing that I've found myself that has really helped me in my personal trading to do really well from trading has been looking at the overall momentum in the markets, which is just trend analysis. And really trend analysis and a moving average. As you can see, for example, the Dow Jones, I just use a 52 moving average. And I found more times than not, if we've in a strong upward trend, like we see here, higher lows, but then also we see the moving average going up. That's called trend and momentum because I use the moving average like a momentum indicator. And then I'm in the position of then potentially capturing a big move. And if I can hold on to that, hey, Brendan. Yeah. So, and so therefore, I've always found my success has really come from holding into things for a couple of weeks to a couple of months and trying to capture a really big move. And the only way to do that is go with the overall momentum of the markets. And that simply means, in a nutshell, if the moving average is strong, as you can see, it's very strong trending to the upside here. Then typically what that means typically what that means is there's momentum to the upside. So we just need to go with that. So that's what swing trading is. Swing trading means you're not getting in and getting out short term. I've never made really big money for that. The big money I've made is how I trade now. And again, it's more swing. You're swinging it where you're holding it for a couple of weeks, sometimes a couple of months. And when you utilize things like options, like my last trade on SIO as an example. So I got into SIO down here, and then it's a daily chart. It was options. I got into it. Instead of looking for a short-term move, I was swinging the trade. So I knew there's a momentum's going to kick into the upside again because the trend was up. And then it was around about here that I ended up getting out of that option trade for 280% return on that option trade. That's an example of one of my recent trades that I did. I'm trying to get that type of return in my trades because I found that trading's hard, right? Trading's a difficult thing. And sometimes you're going to, and I want to be in a situation where if I have a horrible win-loss ratio, if I can have a bulk of my wins be 200%, 300% and more, the bulk of my wins, and then even if I'm 50-50 right, but my losses are like I just recently had 2 losses just recently. One was at a 10% loss and one was at a 30% loss. There's the two recent losses I've had just recently. So if I made 280% return, an example, 280% return on SIL, but I actually got into one of my last losing trades was Walmart. So if I let me just bring on the candlesticks here for a minute. This one right here, right? So I actually got in on Walmart on this breakout bar here. So again, prior to this trade, I made 280% return on SIL, at 280% return on SIL. So if you have a $20,000 trade, that's almost a $60,000 profit. Now, this is where the numbers work out the way that I trade, right? I'm not a day trade. I'm looking for this opportunity. I got in on the breakout, but then the very next, this day here happened, and then the very next candle here, it told me it was no longer working out. This breakout was a false breakout and it was no longer working, and I had to get out of it. I got out of this trade for a 9.5% loss, which is actually a 10% loss. So you see, same numbers, right? Think about this. $20,000 position, you've been in a trade for a couple months when the market's moving in that direction, you're in it, and I make 280% return, almost 300% return, call it a $60,000 profit. If you then get into the same trade here on a $20,000 trade, but then you're down 10%, I've just lost $2,000. Almost $60,000 profit, $2,000 loss. And I hope you can see how that works out. And that's the way that I've been able to, because I have losses, right? I had another loss just recently, but for 30% loss. But if I'm having 10% loss, 30% loss, 200% profit, you can see how that all works out there. Now, I haven't been able to get that sort of return by actively trading all the time. So I don't always get those big results, but I'm always trying to swing it. And the only way for me to do that is when the trade's working out for me, be in it for a month or two and generate a really big return on that one trade. And when I first started trading, I asked myself, what does it really take to make $100,000? Because that's what I wanted to do way back when I first started trading. And then I started doing the numbers. And I started doing the numbers in I started doing the numbers in a result of looking at, okay, if I did say a $10,000 trade and I found a trade that did 300% move over the course of a couple of months, well, I only need a couple of those trades, a handful of those trades throughout the entire year, and I made my $100,000. That sounds so much better than me trying to take a trade every single day, trying to make that. And that's when everything switched for me. And then I realized that I don't need 10 trades this month. I need 10 really good high quality trades this year, factor in some losses. But if I can have a bulk of those that have really big moves, but the only way to have big moves is be in it for a couple of months, being more like swing trading type of thing. So once again, SIL, same type of thing. So I didn't get the exact high, but again, when you start to trade the numbers I'm trading right now, $20,000 and $30,000 was actually a $30,000 position on this one here. And then you start to do those numbers. You can see how this one here was a really, really, really big profit for me. So that's the differences between swing and momentum trading. And this is the only way that I've been able to generate really good profits throughout the entire year and have successful years. And on top of that, not having to trade a lot, because to manage it, it was just simply getting into it, so on and so forth. So that's this whole thing. There's a big myth out there that when I first started trading, I always thought that if I traded a lot, day trading, looking at 1 minute charts, 5 minute charts, if there's a lot of opportunities and if I can take a lot of trades, I'm going to make a lot of money. And you guys know that's the opposite is actually true in the markets. I make so much more money now by being in a trade and looking for a movement over the course of a month or two. Now, caveat on that, just like my Walmart trade, I will stay in a trade when there's still a lot of momentum behind that. But 2-3 days later, I plan on being in the trade for that long. But if it's not going to work out, this is the art of cutting the losses short, letting the wins run. Then every year, I'm going to have my losing trades. But at the end of every year, this is how I have successful years. This is how I happen to have really, really good years every single year, because I do have my losing times, I do have my losing periods, and I do have my losing trades. But how do you set the game up to win, to make sure every year you can have a good year? We need to go into trades that, okay, this one really good trade can be a big profit, and I'll need to have 4 or 5 losses in a row to potentially wipe out that one big profit. That's when you start to really... That's what's called swing trading. Swing trading is you're swinging, you're going with the momentum, and you're holding it for generally for a month or two is the sweet spot that I have found myself. Same for Ethereum. This was an Ethereum trade. I actually got into Ethereum here. I got into Ethereum down here, and I swung the trade, and then I ended up getting up here for just a really, really nice profit. It was just a swing trade. So that's the art of swing trading. That's the only way that I'll be able to make really big money in the markets. And plus also have a bit of freedom in my life as well too. Meaning, like, I don't have to sit in front of the screen for 5-6 hours a day. Now I choose to sometimes, like today, but yeah. And that's where, with my coaching program at getjohntop.com, that's what I do. I teach people like that type of trading. So when you start to do really well throughout the year, that type of trading, then you're only a couple of hours pre-trading, and then the rest, when you start to make really good money, you don't have to work anymore. Now you got a few hours worth of trading, making big money throughout the year, and then you can go on and then do the other stuff in life. But just going through the markets right now. Miners look ready to go. Are you still on the sidelines? Still on the sidelines? I've never been on the sidelines. The piano. Just so you understand, there's 2 types of positions that I'm in. I'm actually long gold, silver in the mining sector right now for an investment purposes. I started buying those back in 2020. investment purposes. But for trading, options, call options, there's time limit there. Short-term trading, I'm not in those anymore. No. So there's two different types of trading. Whenever you hear me say I sold everything, no, I'm actually still. Again, I started getting into gold and silver. This is where like a lot of people get this wrong. This is gold here. I started accumulating gold all through here, 2020, 2021, and 2023. That silver and the GDXJ was my baby in a sense. It was all through here, 2020, 2021, and it was around about here that I stopped accumulating. I just kept buying it and buying it and buying it all through here. And I didn't know when it was going to pop, but I knew we were going to go through another mining boom. So investments where I'm just buying it without any leverage, I'm still in right now. Why? Because this movement here is not there's differences between trading mentality and investing mentality. A trading mentality is like, right, I'm in, I've got call options, I've got leverage, movement, couple months, get out, trading income. That's trading. Investment for me, when I look at this, investment for me is, we're going for a pullback right now, but in 5 years, I see this thing being well above all-time new highs. In 5 years, I see gold being at 10,000. But you're gonna incur pullbacks. That's the investment. That's the investing mentality. Investing mentality is you're not trying to time the market. I'm just in. I'm still in now. And if we get a 30% crash, we get a 30% crash. That's it there. So no, me on this. So there's two different types of trading I do. One, there is an investment mentality where I'm buying and holding, and I started doing it back in 2020. But then there's shorter term opportunities like the SIL where I can get in, I hold it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, and have a good profit for the trading income. And that trading income is what pays my bills, taxes, and all that sort of stuff. So, but no, I'm still long right now. And then if we do get a really big drop right now, I don't really care. An investor mentality doesn't care about short-term swings, Carlos. Now you can't have it's very hard to have an investing. The reason why a trading mentality for me is I'm using options most of the time. So even with a 6-month option, I still have a time limit. I need to get in and I need to get out, right? Because that's going to eventually expire worthless. But that's what gives me the leverage to do really well every year as an income, to make money from this as an income. I then have an investment portfolio that I'm in the metals, gold, silver, GDXJ, and now recently I bought TMF. As you guys know, I recently got in the TMF. I talked about TMF, and I recently bought that just recently. And I see same thing here over the next couple of months. I see this thing rising, TMF. So in my investment portfolio, that's all I have: gold, silver, GDXJ, and then they've been there for 5 years. And then now recently, I got into TMF. Just bought it for the investment purposes, but then I also bought 12 months worth of time with the call options as well too. So I bought it and also 12 months worth of call options because I see a nice move coming. I see a nice move coming over the next 12 months. So, but again, this is where, like, again, my TMF trade right now, it's not really. See, people get really, really torn up about what's happening now. Over the next 6 to 12 months, as things unfold, that's when I see TMF starting to do its thing. But now, like if I go to, where are we? Like right now, we've gone up, down, up, down. People are so short-term focused. This is what stops people from making really big moves. They're focused on this shorter-term moves here, but what they're potentially missing out on is in 6 months' time frame, it could be at $70 or $80. If that happens, my big position that I went in big time on TMF. If we do get a rise over the next 6 to 12 months, only to $80, which is just down the bottom here still, that there is 100% move. That's 100% gain on my just investment opportunities. Now with my call options, that's probably going to be at what, 200, 300, 400% return. So you see the analysis from there. But it's not, if you have that, if I have that view over the next 12 months, I see this thing unfolding, then you don't go, oh my goodness, it went down 2% today. You've got to put yourself in the different buckets. If you're an investor in gold, right, and you're a long-term investor in gold, who cares about the short-term movement? Market's going to go up, market's going to go down, market's going to go up, market's going to go down. It's going to pull back. So it's always big interesting to see people like, oh, John, TMF went down 2% today. Come on, stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do that to yourself. And then 6 months later, 12 months later, it's at 120, and they just missed that 200% move. So but mining stocks, no. Mining stocks, I believe mining stocks are going to be doing not much for. I even did a video about this today on YouTube. I don't believe it's going to be doing much now for the next couple months. And the reason why is because the market goes through energy phases, right? So the market goes through different energy phases. And because we had this enormous, real big sort of energy phase through here, from there to there, that's the energy using phase. Because it was so big through there, we're probably going to spend a couple of months doing volatility through here. So I did a YouTube video today on that as well. But long term, next 5 years, yeah. For you guys that are long-term buy and hold with the metals and miners, yeah. Don't listen to me if I talk short-term tops and so on and so forth. And this is where, like, if you're watching anyone on YouTube, put them in the category of what they're saying. If I say there's a correction coming in gold, if you're an investor, who gives a shit about that? Now the correction did come in gold, as you guys know. And it's interesting. A lot of the haters are now gone quiet in there. But long term, and even for the stock market, like look at the stock market. Stock market is enormously. Let's go here. Like this is the stock market now. Big move coming in the stock market, boys and girls. And please don't be trying to call a top here, guys. Like, doesn't matter what you think, hope, or fear. If the market's still making higher lows, if the market's still very strong and trending, just go with that. You're not smarter than the market. Otherwise, you get run over. Dude, please check SPX. What is that? SPX. / M. Oh, geez. I don't know what that is. M to SL. I don't know what that is. Money supply. User. Are you more of a trader or are you more of an investor? Meaning, are you more active? Meaning, are you trading to make an income this year, or are you buy and hold and you're like you got a good, a good couple of year top of you? Are you a trader or are you an investor? Uh, 80% trader, 20% investment. Okay, cool. Well, the 80% of a trader, who gives a shit about money supply? That doesn't mean anything. The charts are going to tell you that. The M2 money supply is not going to tell me anything. High, low, booming, vertical. That, even if I do look that up, I'm not sure why you're looking at M2 money supply, because it's not going to tell you anything that's coming right now. The chart, the market will tell you when we start to do. So that's all. Keep it simple, my man. The only reason why I've had success in the markets is because I keep it simple. Let me show you what I mean here. What I look for is I look for a sideways period to a strong 52. Let's go to my Ethereum trade. Sideways period. Look at the 52 coming up strong. Breakout, big move. SIL. Sideways period. Strong 52, 52 coming up, big move. SLV. My SLV trade that I had. Sideways period. Strong moving average coming up, big move to come. Platinum. Our Groupon, GRPN. This is my Groupon trade that I took. Sideways period, strong moving average. So see what I'm saying here? Like, my success comes off the back of me just doing the same thing over and over again. Like, they're all the same thing. Sideways, strong moving average. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Now, and I'm actually in a trade right now as I speak with this exact same thing. I've only been in it for a couple of days. I'm up about 30, 40% so far. So I've only been in it for a couple of days. But yeah, it's just the same thing. And that's where, like, I don't have any indicators in my charts because it just, when I see the pattern, it just works. So just stick to one simple trading pattern that you know that works. And to me, I see whenever I get in these trades, like even Ethereum, whenever I see this pattern, I know that I'm likely to have a big move. And with that, and if I start to utilize things like options, now I can start to get the whole bigger profits, smaller losses. But it only comes off the back of holding it for a couple of weeks or a month or two. So many people, there's actually this camp out there that are scared of it's risky holding overnight. Maybe with a futures market or a forex market or something really big with leverage like that, yeah. But any of the really big boys in these markets, they're not, oh, it's scary holding over the night. No, they've got billions and billions of dollars in these markets. They're not worried about overnight. So what platforms are best to trade? There is no best platform to trade. It's all platforms. It's not really the platform, it's your analysis. So you could use, for me, I use this as TC2000. I use this for that. I also have a scanner. This is the scanner that I use. You see this here? These are the scanners that I use. I give to my coaching program. These are the scanners that I use here. Some of them appear some, and then, yeah. And then I use Interactive Brokers for my trading account. And actually, I'll show you this here. Let me show you this here. I'll show you. I took a screenshot of my brokering account just recently. Let me show you my equity curve for this year. Where is it? I'm pretty sure. Was it one of the recent ones? Or October 3rd? Oh yeah, this is one of the screenshots. This is taken back almost a month ago, but this is my equity curve right now, October 13th. And I'm in a trade right now, and I'm up just slightly as well too. So this is probably a little bit more than this right now, but this is my equity curve for this year, guys. October 13, 2025. This is my equity curve here. Well, you can't even see it. You can't even see it. Let me show you here. Oh, here you go. Here you go. So this is my real equity curve for this year, guys. Again, this is taken about a month ago. And I'm in some couple of trades right now as I speak. I think it's around just above 300 or something like that. So it's over 300, about 300% return. And this is my real equity curve for the year. It was pretty flat throughout the year. As you can see, my first 4 months of this year when the whole tariff stuff was happening, it was pretty flat. Had a little bit of a dip through here, but didn't really go negative. So I kept it pretty strong. And this last 6 months, there's some really big profitable trades. And as you can see, I've made a really big move there. So that was that year. Oh, actually, no, this one's here. Oh, this is my recent one. This is one of my recent ones here. This is my recent one here, as you can see, for this year. So this is year to date. This is this year to date. And this is where I'm at right now. And last year's, this is my last year equity curve for my performance here. So this is all my equity curve here. But as you can see here, right, it's not like every day or every month. I had like 3 or 4 really big sort of growths through here, and the rest are pretty flat. But with that, that's when I have these really successful years. So this is last year, 2024, and this is taken about a week ago now, of this year as well too. Let me go back to, how good is that? It actually works. I think I'm more of an investor than a trader mentality. Yep, Carlos, yep. But with high leverage, there's danger of wiping your account on a sharp downturn. Carlos, no, man. Are you serious? No. That means you are trading leverage way, way, way wrong. And Carlos, now, yes, if you're doing leverage where you can have, if you're doing leverage in the markets, this is the reason why, Carlos, I love trading options. If I put 10% of my trading account, Carlos, and I buy the option, and that's all I'm doing to get the leverage, if the whole world goes belly up, I've only lost 10% of my trading account. Does that make sense, Carlos? So you must be trading large risk. And if it does have a really big move against you, now you're talking big losses on your account. That's no way to trade leverage. That's the reason why I love trading options. Because I can put 10% of my trading account there. And if the worst case scenario happens, the thing expires worthless on me and I've only lost 10% of my account. I still got 90% of my account there. But if the market does move for me, then that 10% of my account can equal 20, 30% growth on my account overall. You see how that works? So that's how it, but if you're using like leverage where you can get big slippages and futures and that sort of stuff, yes, then that's risky. Risky is where you got like margin and all that sort of stuff. It's just the way you risk. That's the way you use margin, the way you use leverage. That's the reason why I only trade options when it comes to my trading. When it comes to leverage, I don't use anything else because I manage the risk when I'm in the trade. The worst case scenario is I lose 10% of my account. Absolute worst case scenario, maybe I have 20% of my trading account. Maybe I put 20% of my trading account into the markets and the whole world goes belly up. Well, I still got 80% of my account sitting there. I'm good to go. Yes, I didn't like it. And now it's not going to expire worthless, especially if I buy plenty of time with the option. But I hope you can see how I use leverage in the markets. I manage the risk. But if you are trading high leverage, there's a danger of wiping your account on one sharp downturn. You are trading way too much leverage and way too much risk on your account. That's not smart long-term. How I do really good long-term is I just showed you there. One, I look for good setups. And secondly, I go down the process of utilizing buying options only, not writing options. If you're writing puts and writing calls, now we start to talk about you may do well for 3-6 months, but one really bad month can wipe out all that sort of stuff. That's not successful long-term. I want to make sure that if I have a bad month this month, okay, cool. But then I can have a good month next month. So that's the reason why when it comes to my trading, I just buy the option only. Because I can control the risk. And the max risk really for me is whatever I put into the trade. So once again, if I have a $500,000 trading account or call it $100,000, I use something low, $100,000 trading account, and I take $10,000 and put in the markets and the whole world goes belly up, I've still got 90 grand sitting there. Ready to go again. But then if that trade does work out for me, now, as I said before, my options don't do that there, right? I've had 2 losses just recently. One was a 10% loss, one was a 30% loss, not a 100% loss on the option. So once you start to understand that, the proper trade selection with that in mind, now you can start to really, really grow your account quite nicely. Year after year after year, because you're not going to let one bad month or even a couple of bad months in a row destroy your account because of what you're doing. You got to set yourself up. But one really bad downturn and it's going to wipe out your account, you are just leveraged way too much then. Your risk is too much. That's not long-term success. That means you can do really well for 6 months and one really bad month's going to wipe out your account. No. What I do as a coach is I teach people how to do really well long-term. Doesn't mean, yes, it doesn't mean you're not going to have losses. You are. And you're going to have losing periods. This is how you win the game at trading. Because you're going to have your periods where you're going to have I'm coming off the back now. I'm coming off the back of 2 losses in a row now. I'm in a trade right now that's at 30% profit, 30, 40% profit. So I'm in a trade right now as I speak. But my losses that I've gotten out of just recently, one was a 30% loss and one was a 10% loss Walmart that I showed you. But the trade, that 10% loss and 30% loss, that's 40% loss there on my investment, by the way. But the trade before that was SIL, and that gave me 280% profit. I hope you can see now. I could have that one SIL trade and 2 losses, and I'm still up massively on the account. Now I'm talking about investment here, right? So if I take 10% of my trading account and I make 280% return, that's, yeah, you get the number I'm trying to say there. SNDK. SNDK. Let's have a look at SNDK. Oh, geez. What goes up really quickly is going to eventually have a really hard fast and snapback. And the worst time to buy something is when it's already made a big move. So I would say when this thing turns, it's going to turn just like gold and the mining stock did, right? Metals and miners, so what happened through there? When it eventually does turn, it turns really fast against you. And that's when you get even the mining stocks, right? Within a couple of days, I think it was down 20%. That's the type of move you got to get. And that's the danger of holding on something. So, no, definitely. Yeah, that's just crazy. At what age do you think that kids should start learning? My 14-year-old son is actually already starting to learn. Now, I have 3 kids, 14-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old. They know what I do for a living. They come in their office and they see me looking at the charts and doing my trading. But I don't force it on them. I try to educate them about how it's important to learn. If you can start to learn how to turn $100 into $500, then into $1,000, and then take that $1,000 trading account and maybe turn it into 10, and then maybe turning it to 50 and then 100, or maybe taking $5,000 and then potentially turning that into, quite a good amount of money throughout, by proper risk management and maybe slowly over time, how to potentially turn that into a 6-figure account and more, potentially, right? Potentially. Then my goal is to put the seed into their mind of why I do what I do. But then I also tell them that, hey, it took me many, many years and $250,000 in debt to figure this game out. And I'm still learning every single day. That's the reason why when it comes to my coaching program, they're just doing so well in my coaching program. They are kicking ass. If you guys don't know, I have a coaching program. I take on about 15 people per year. So this whole year, I've only had 15 people in my what's called my 1% club. My 1% club is they see what I'm doing every single day. They see the trades, and then I'm there every day for an hour, coaching and helping guide them through this market. I call it the 1% club because they're with me every single day, and they're with me for an entire year. If you go to getjohntop.com, guys, there's an application form there you can apply for all that, and we can have a speak on the phone, and I can help you out from there if you're interested in. That's for next year, by the way, as well too. Meaning, like, I'm filling spots up now for all of next year, and I only take on 15 people because it's we're a real small group. Are you still bullish on ETH and alts? Jordan, I never once said I was bullish on the altcoins, but Ethereum, yes. ETH, yes. Let me bring this up to here. So yes, I am very, very bullish long term on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is a really, really. I think Ethereum. Let me actually. I'll change this. I'll change this screen for you guys. Let me show you Ethereum. I'll bring this up here. I'll bring this up to here. So Ethereum. Let me go to ETH here. Let me bring up Ethereum for you. This is I'll bring on my trading view. Let me open up a different layout here. So this is Ethereum here. And what I see happening with Ethereum is I actually see this is starting a brand new big bull market. Starting a brand new big bull market. That simply means we had higher low, up, higher high, come down, higher low. And I believe we're going to start to see something like this, and we're going to see a really big move to come because we've just been in this phase from here. So for the last 5 years, there's been no trend at all. Ethereum's been a dead dog. But once we start to break above here, that's when I see Ethereum really picking up. And I see this here being a higher low. And then I see the overall movement being to the upside. Now, how do I delete these trend lines? How do I delete this thing? Actually, you know what? Let me just do this here. Boom. Oh, cool. How good is that? So I hope that makes sense. So I see Ethereum being really, really, really big news once again. So once Ethereum gets above, if Ethereum holds here, then what this is going to give you, ETH. Now this is for Ethereum only, right? I don't care. This is not altcoins. I don't know about altcoins. This is my analysis on Ethereum only. If that develops another higher low here, that means buyers in control and breaking above here. And on top of that, we've actually done nothing for all of this time. So if we do hold here on this weekly charts, which by the way, that would look like, let me, this is the daily chart now. So that's the weekly chart, big weekly chart. This is the daily chart here. So we would need to see this thing start to pick back up through here. Once we start to break above these highs up here, then I believe this is getting ready for another really big move. So I'm actually very, very, very bullish. Out of all the cryptos, Ethereum is my number one. Meaning Ethereum, I say Ethereum making the biggest moves out of all the markets, only because it hasn't done much. And typically when you get these what's called channeling patterns, when the market doesn't do much for a while, and then we break, we typically get the big move. A platinum did this. I even traded platinum this year on this. This one made me, what was it, 250% return? Right, so let me show you here. Let me show you here. So platinum. Right, look at platinum. What did platinum do? Let me show you here. That was that trend line through there. But look at this here. See how platinum didn't do much for all this time through here? So guys, whenever you see something not doing much for a while, where'd that thing go? Oh, there it is there, right? Whenever you see the market channeling like this here, get ready, because when it does break, we typically get a big move. So I actually entered on the breakout. I actually entered here and I got out up here for my trade. And that gave me a 200, I think it was a 250% return on my option there. I traded the PPLT, the ETF there, but yeah. So keep an eye out for that, guys. It's one of my best patterns. One of my best patterns that I see. Groupon, I'll show you like the same thing here. So if you GRPN, look at Groupon. Why did Groupon have such a big move? And why was I interested in Groupon? Well, firstly, look, sideways channeled. And then we got this, the breakout, and then we had a big move to come. Again, it's come back down, but that was the trade done and dusted for me through here. So my number one trading pattern is when the market hasn't done much for a while, then we typically get a big move. That's why I was actually really bullish on silver for a long time. And the reason why was because, look at this here. It's all the same thing, guys, isn't it? It's all the same thing. All the same thing. Look at all that through there. So silver didn't do much for all this time here. Then silver started to break out. And then through here, as silver started to break out, this is when I started getting interested in silver. And then I wrote it up. I think I got out up here somewhere, made a nice profit. On a trade, right? On a trade, that is. So yeah, how do I delete that? Let me do this here. So yeah, I hope you can see what I mean by that. And the same thing for gold, right? Look at it here. Look at gold. It's all the same thing, guys. I started getting really bullish in gold, and you guys probably know this. Let me go to the weekly chart here to show you. I started getting bullish on gold big time back here. Why? It's all the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this here. Nothing for a couple of years, and when we broke out, we had a big move. It's all the same thing. So if you're looking for a market, if you're looking for a stock that's likely to make a big move, wait for it. It hasn't been doing much for a while. But the hard thing, though, is it's when we've been going for a while, then the public, as you know yourself, the gold and silver has been the big highlight of the game for the last 6 months. Actually, last 12 months, really. Gold, silver, oh my goodness. I'm like, I know. But the charts are telling me back here that we're about to make a big move. I had many trades. I had long-term investment is doing really well, but then also I had, I think, 3 or 4 really good trades through here. I didn't follow your channel trade method correctly when entering a small trade. And Eric, would you stay in or get out at this point? Well, you need to know the actual system in the first place, right? If you say you know my channel trade, you actually know the rules to a channel trade. right? So if you don't know the rules, then you're making a guess. So therefore, yeah. Well, let me have a look at this here. Let me have a look. Eric. Phew. Yeah, that's not. This is not. Oh, is it this one here? Mark, I'm not sure if he's still in, but yeah. But if it's this one here, there's no channel trade here. There's nothing here for a channel trade for me. No, definitely nothing here for me anyway. Beautiful change in trend here, isn't it? Look at that there. Beautiful change in trend. Look at this here. Down, lower high, lower high, lower high. Came up, high, low. Look where that's where we started to change the trend through there. And then the trend has been up ever since. What the? Cool. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, do it again. And that's why if you guys are watching my YouTube videos, if you remember on gold, when gold was doing this sideways thing here, I said I'm expecting one more move in gold. And therefore we end up getting the move there. Really, really, really simple. So what's the differences between stock and an option? An option will generally give you 10 times leverage. So if the stock moves 2%, your option is going to be up 20%. The stock moves 5%, your option is generally is going to be up 50%, as an example. The stock moves 10%, your option is probably going to be about 100%. Now, depending on the option you choose, by the way, you can pick if you pick the wrong option, then it may not work out that way. Like, for example, if you buy an option way out of the money and the market does move for you, sometimes it can take a lot more movement for those options to kick in. So that's why I always trade in the money options. Yes, they're more expensive, but it gives me that risk protection as well too. So that's the differences between them when buying the option. This is not talking about spreads or coin condors or butterflies or covered calls, anything like that. Spreads, like none of that. I'm a simple buy. Ride it for a couple of months. Hopefully get out for 200-300% return, maybe more. My biggest profit was 1,200% return. And that was on APT. Let me show you this here. Have a guess what the move was that made that move. Can anyone have a guess? Is this going to bring it up for me? ALT, maybe? Oh, there we go. So this was, I haven't had a trade like this in a long time, but check out these for your apples, eh? Check out this for your apple. This is the trade that did 1,200% return for me. Oh, you got a light up on me? Woo! There you go. I'm back now. through here. Oh, there's it. Through here. Have a guess why I traded this one, guys. It's all the same thing in it. Look at this here. Look at that long channel. Look at that. One, almost a couple of years with a sideways. Breakout, big move. It's all the same thing, guys. You're looking for these really big moves. Wait for. Most people don't. Most people, when the market's not doing, when the market's not doing much for a couple of years or a year or two, they're like, "Oh, this is not doing much. I'm going to get out of here." They're the market should be focusing on. If you're looking to capture a big move, then they're the ones you should be focused on. That's why the energy sector right now. So that's where, like, even USO. Look at USO. What is USO doing? Oh, John. It's one of those big channel things. Yeah. And when it breaks, it's got to go for a big move. That's why I'm still focused on the USO. But these really big moves, by the way, that can start to generate some really big profits. You just don't know when it's going to break out. This could be 6 months before it breaks out. Now, some of you guys can't wait that long. But what if I said once you see this opportunity, you get in and that one trade can make you over $100,000? Is it worth waiting for that breakout? Now we're talking something different. What if it had the potential of doing a lot more than that, right? To $300,000. Now we're talking game changer money for you. That's the proper way of thinking. See, it's not about making $8,000 a month. It's much easier to make $100,000 a year than it is $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month means you're trading every month to try to make an income. But some months it's just not there. But it's much easier throughout the year to identify these opportunities. When you get into it, hold the big breakout. So I know USO is going to break out soon and have a big move. It's all the same thing, right, guys? Like, let's see. And I've been showing you. You guys have been, on this stream now for a little while. I'm just showing you a few examples of why Groupon made a big move. Why did Platinum make a big move? It's all the same thing. When the markets do nothing, especially for many years, for 2-3 years. Why did gold have a big move? Let's go to gold. John, it's one of those channel thingy-majiggies. Yeah, and then the big move comes. Shark, it's not about long-term thinking. It's about how to identify those opportunities that's likely to make a big move, right? How do I see these opportunities that's likely to make a big move or a big trend, or it's likely to start a new trend? You know what I'm saying, Shark? That's the thinking I'm always after. I'm not after a short-term move. I'm not after get in and get out with a short-term move. No. If I can get into this and hold it for 6 months and make a really big move and start to apply a bit of options to it, now it's a game changer. That's the thinking behind it all. So now, while I'm keeping an eye on this, but I'm still, like, I'm in a trade right now. And again, I've been up for a couple of days. I'm up 30-40% so far on this one trade. So we'll see what actually happens. I could be, and again, I'm still in profit, so I'm letting the profits go. This one trade that I'm in right now, and we'll see what actually happens with that one there. So just let the profits go. And my goal is to actually be in that for a couple of months and hopefully generate a really big profit again once again. And just rinse, recycle, repeat, right? 100% profit, 200% profit, 300% profit, 30% loss, 10% loss, 40% loss, 300% profit. You guys get the point. But that's throughout the year. I'm not an active trader. I've never made really big money by being active all the time, getting in and getting out every single day. That's day trading. It's not for me. But when I can find an opportunity and put in 20 grand on a trade, and that $20,000 trade could turn into a $40 or $60 or an $80,000 profit for me in 2 months, Now we're starting to talk, how do you make big money from the markets? You do that and you look that through and you have a handful of those throughout the entire year. Now we're starting to talk some game-changing numbers. That's the way we should be thinking about it. Now, it takes time to get, if you $20,000, right? It takes time to get to that point. You don't just start there, right? I started at $1,000 trade, then a $5,000 trade, then a $10,000 trade. And then now I'm at where I'm at right now is the maximum I go is a $30,000 trade. Meaning like the average trade I do right now is $30,000. So you do the numbers on that SIL trade as an example, almost 300% profit, $30,000 trade, right? It's almost a six-figure profit for me on that SIL trade. So I hope you can see there, right? I hope you can see the numbers there. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now, guys. Myself, I've been trading for 20 years now. There's no way I'll be trading that much by trading all the time. There's just no way. I've never made really good decisions by being active every single day, when I can sit back, when I can stay calm, when I can be relaxed, when I can just look at the market and take my time and make sure I'm making good decisions. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. There's no way alts look bullish. Don't make a statement like that across all the altcoins, because some altcoins are obviously big bullish, some altcoins are bearish, some altcoins are doing nothing, right? So they're all individually doing something different. You can't say the stock market is, because no. Or the tech sector is, no. Look at Adobe. Adobe's part of the tech sector. Adobe is down. So be careful about saying a blatant statement across the entire market. Microsoft is at this current point in time, right, in the tech sector. Microsoft is nothing. Is it going to load for me or what? Yeah, right. So right now, Microsoft is doing nothing for the last 3-4 months. But Google has been in a very big move. So even with the tech sector, you can't say the tech sector is, because now you just know. Google's been going crazy for the last, since May. But like even Meta, right? Meta, even Netflix, they're all going through, correction periods. Meta's gone through a correction period. So as you can see, they're all different, right? That's where you never want to make a blatant statement across the market. I always say, what is Google doing? And then I make an analysis on Google. Define bullish in Ethereum 3-5 years. There's no. I don't know timeline. I just know we're probably going to get a breakout soon. Maybe. That is, maybe. And once we do start to get the breakout, then we're probably going to go for another move. How long that lasts? Who knows? And by the way, FYI, what is the fascination with XRP? Why is everyone so interested in XRP? It's a dead dog. It's a dog. So much over the last 5 years. XRP to the moon, XRP. XRP is a dog, guys. Don't touch XRP. It's a dog. It's not going anywhere. Leave XRP alone. But John, the central banks, the banking system, all these stories about XRP, and it's still a dog. Trade Ethereum instead. Thanks, John. I'm still interested in the GDX too. Yeah, so am I. I think the mining sector has a really big move coming. I think what we're seeing right now in the mining sector, by the way, GDX, is the first leg up in a big bull market. Now, what I mean by that is this. So you put in the context of what I'm talking about here. This is the GDX here. A first leg up in a big bull market is this. You have a big rise up. You may even do something like this for a while, maybe even a bit of a pullback, and then we continue up. That's a big bull market. So yes, I'm long-term bullish the mining sector as well too. But just like all big bull markets, if they go up for really strongly for a while, you're probably going to experience a bit of corrections, maybe around 50% of the retracements, and then away it goes again. Paid YouTubers to promote XRP. Is that what happened? I get that stuff all the time. I don't take any of that stuff on myself. Oh, how good is that? So yes, I 100% agree with you. I think this is the first leg up in a very big bull market. That means, once again, don't be so scared if it comes back down here for a little bit to 55. No, don't freak out because it's just a big bull market. Up and down and up and down and up and down. And yes, we may go do that for 3-6 months, maybe even 12 months that happens. But then I see this coming by 2030. Same with gold. I'm not bearish gold. Let's go look at gold here for a minute. Look at gold. This is what I see happening with gold right now. I actually see, I do actually see, let me bring this up to here. Let me go to the monthly chart here so I can show you the big long-term monthly charts on gold. This is gold monthly chart here. Hey, whoa, it's the big show. So this is the gold monthly chart here. We just made a really big move, just like all big moves, right? We make a big move up, we have a pullback, make a big move up, we get a pullback, sideways for a while, big move up for a few years, bit of a pullback. We've had a really big move up for a few years. It may continue up a little bit more, but then we're probably either going to go sideways or we might get a little bit of a correction, right? When the stock market does end, this is probably going to get a correction down to here, probably around 50% retracement somewhere. And then I see $10,000 gold coming. So I'm massively long-term bullish on gold right now, massively long-term. But this is just a correction. That's what markets do, right? Markets go up for a while, then they pull back and go up for a while, and they go sideways. That's what a big bull market is. So that's all on my YouTube video, guys. That's all it is. It's really simple to talk about. And this is where, from an investment mentality, this here shouldn't freak you out. Not me anyway, not for my investments. Boom, 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 boom. How do you feel about energy stocks? Any top picks? Yes. XOM. Oh. XOM. Now, why am I looking at XOM? All the same thing, guys. It's all the same stuff. If my trading viewer will load on me, my machine's on a heart attack. Why am I looking at this one here? Oh my goodness. Oh, John. Look. It's another one of those channel things for 3 years. Oh my goodness. So we're not there yet, meaning like we're still holding here. But the big picture for me is this. If we hold here and then we start to get a bit of a breakout or proper breakout, have a bit of a retest, let's start a big move up. It's all the same thing. Sideways, big move. And so you guys that are using complicated fundamental analysis and macro and inflation and the stochastics and the Bollinger Bands and the monthly, you don't need it. Look for nothing going on for a few years. Then when it breaks out, you're probably going to go for a big move. It's all the same thing. That's why my trading's so successful, guys. Now, I do have my losses. That's success, meaning like every year I do really well every year because of just understanding also how to identify that opportunity that's likely to make that big move that could last a couple of months, maybe even longer. How do I look for that opportunity? And then utilize things like options where I can pick up a few 100% return, 200-300% return, maybe more. Now we're talking. So XOM. So out of the XOM, and is probably one of my best picks. I'll even show you this here. Let me show you something here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, class in session. Let me show you here. Let me show you something. Right here. Oh, this is my equity curve for this year, by the way. If you guys went around that time. This is what my equity curve looks like for this year so far. Well, we'll see what ends up happening, right? Again, I'm in a nice trade right now. And there's many more really good trading opportunities that are coming right now. Let me go down the bottom here, guys. Let me show you this here. Logarithmic chart. These are all the screenshots and trades and everything I've done here. Where's those log charts? Where are those log charts? Here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, check this out. Look at this here. Top charts. This chart up the top here is AX gold. These are logarithmic charts. Gold, AXP, Goldman Sachs. This one here is Goldman Sachs, AXP. This one here is Goldman Sachs. It's all the same thing. These are monthly logarithmic charts. Up for a few years, then sideways for 3 years, and then a big move for a couple of years. Same for Goldman Sachs. The exact same pattern happened on gold. It's the exact same thing. Bottom charts. This one here is XLE. Now, this one here is XLE. This one down the bottom here is XOM. And this stock here is CVX. It's the same pattern. Stocks that had the pattern before and what happened after the sideways pattern, stocks that are setting up now. Now, caveat on this is a monthly chart. So this may take another 6 months before it actually gets going. And it may not. That's where, for me, I always wait for the breakout above the highs to start to look for trading opportunities. I don't get in now because it may not work out, right? But when it starts to break above those highs, it gives us much more high probability that we're starting these moves here, these moves here. And as you can see here, gold had a really big move. Why? Because it had the pattern. Most people focus on gold now for the last 6 to 12 months, where back 2 years ago, that's when I was focused on gold. Oh, here's another chart, guys. Here's another chart. Sideways 3 years, breakout, little up, down, start new trend, big move. This is a stock here, an individual stock. Weekly to the left, daily to the right. What do they have in common? When the market doesn't do much for a few years, that's when big moves come. That's where for you guys that are day trading, you're missing the big move. You're trying to get in and get out in one day. You can never make big money for that. Get in and hold it for a few months and get it on the big move. Go and get. Go and get. Let me go back to here. Let me go up to here. Okay, cool. La la la. The longer the consolidation, the higher the move. Sometimes. But yes, meaning one thing I've found though is there's a common theme around these markets that do nothing for 3 or so years, and then the big move comes. That's why I'm really bullish on XLE, XOM, even USO. Because it's been doing nothing for 3 years, 3 or so years. And when it does start to break, we're likely to start to trend. Now, if this is going to break up, I don't know where it's going to break, by the way. But if we do start to break up like this here, then we're probably going to have a bit of a pullback for a while, go up, sideways, up, right? That's what. Look at that, they're there, right? That's what it's going to like to do, guys, right? Don't ever think that it's just going to do this. That's very rarely what that actually happen. That's what a big bull market, starting a big bull market, is higher lows and the good old higher low. High low, high ho. Oh, geez. So, a. Hi, John. Appreciate you and all you do. Been following you for a while. Cheers. Hey. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Trading can be so good, guys. Once you understand the right mindset of trading, the framework, how to think about your trading throughout the year, the right thinking. The wrong thinking is job mentality. I'm going to trade every day. I'm going to make a weekly income. That never works. I'm going to make an income. I'm going to make a monthly income. Never works. Because some months you're going to have a losing month. That's just part of the game. What are you going to do then? And that's where if you set yourself up like I trade, which throughout the year, I'm going to have these many months of really big profits. And then I might have, I'm going to have some months in there where I might have some few losses and I'm going to be down that month. But if I just made 300% return on a trade, and then I had a 10% loss, a 30% loss, a 40% loss, I'm still up big time on the account. Now, very rarely does that happen, but as you can see there. Like, for example, my last 4 trades, 75% profit, 280% profit, 9% loss or 10% loss, 30% loss, and now I'm in a trade right now that's at almost a 40% profit. They're my last 5 trades in the last 2 months. It's called can't keep going that way. I want to be in a situation, guys, where I've had a horrible win-loss ratio. I want to be in a situation if I have had a horrible, if I get to the end of the year and I've only been 30% right, I'm horrible. But my trades have been the trades I've been patient and letting the profits go. I can have a 30% win-loss ratio and have those really big profits like that, 200%, 300% profits, and then have all these small losses. I'm setting the game up to win that year. I'm not thinking this month. I'm thinking this year. And that's how I do well throughout the year. I'm not thinking about like, oh, if I have a losing month this month, or it's like, I'm going to have losing months sometimes. I'm going to have losing trades. But as I said before, my last 5 trades, SIL, 280% return, SLV, 75% return, then a 10% loss, then a 30% loss, and now I'm at a 40% profit. 5 trades, net growth on my account every month and every year. So, and again, guys, this is the reason why I run a coaching program that tells people about this sort of stuff there. Because there's a lot of wrong thinkings, right? So if you go to getjohntop.com, there's an application form there, guys. You can check that out and talk to me if you want. If you want some help next year. What if USO breaks the trend and chooses to go down? Well, there is no trend right now on USO. It may go down. There is no trend on USO. It's sideways. It's flat. Look at it. It's sideways. No trend at all. There is no trend. It may break down. But that tells me, though, if it does break down, we're probably going to rally up, and then I'm going to be looking for put options. I'm going to be looking to short it here. I don't care. I'm not bullish. I'm not bullish on oil. I'm just saying it's going sideways here. When it does start to break out, that's when you can start to see. Typically, when you get these 3 years of sideways, when you break out, you typically go for a good 1 to 2 year bull move. Just like gold, and that's where, like, I'm really bullish the mining sector. Look at the mining sector, GDXJ. GDXJ is my baby in a sense, basically. That's the one that I've invested in long term. Look at this here. This is GDXJ chart. Look at this here. It did nothing here for 10 years. Now we've had a very big move up. Even if it does have a pullback, this is just a big pullback in a big bull market. We're likely to see that. So even if we did get this over the next 3 to 6 months, maybe longer, this here is a first leg up in the bull market, in my opinion. I could be wrong. So after 10 years of doing nothing, we're just starting this bull move. So this move up in the mining sector is the first leg up in the bull market. And just remember, guys, what is a bull market? What is a bull market? A bull market is what? Higher lows, higher highs, right? We know that. Up and then down and up and then down and up and then sideways and up and up and up and maybe do something like this, maybe even come down to here, maybe, and then away we go again. And then by the time we're finished, by the time 2030 comes around, you get all that sort of stuff there. So, yeah. That's how easy it can be, guys. This is why I don't day trade anymore. Why? Why would I day trade? Why would I try to look for shorter term profits when I can find these opportunities, get in one trade, hold it for 2 months, 3 months, have a really big profit, and then, man, it's so much easier to make a big profit that year by doing that. It's so hard by trading every day and looking for these trades on a 1 minute chart and 2 minute chart. Oh, it is just so hard. And then you're sitting there for 5, 6 hours a day, sometimes 8 hours a day. You're not sleeping, and then you're fighting with your wife. It's like, oh, it's a no good for me anyway. I went through a divorce with that stuff, guys. I went through 250,000. Now, it's not to say you can't do it, but you need to. Your discipline and patience needs to be up big time with that. You really need to be patient. That means you need to be okay sitting in front of the screen for hours on end. Hours and hours and hours and not take a trade. And your discipline needs to be, you know exactly what you're looking for. That's the hardest part about day trading, is because not even the most successful day traders will tell you, not every day there's a trade. The really, really, really successful day traders who do, like, we're talking millions of dollars a year, even though I say probably only 30%, maybe 40% of the actual days are actually trading days, and the rest is there's no setup. That's why it's so hard. But for me, once again, I've always found that the best trades, the best way that I'll be able to do really well from trading long term is find opportunities, get into it, only look at the market for a couple of hours per day, manage it for a couple of months, and then throughout the day, I still can go to the gym. And for me, I'm actually big into boxing. I'm in the High Rocks as well too. So I've got a High Rocks I've been training lately for High Rocks coming up in a month as well too. So I'm training in the High Rocks, and I'm a runner as well too. So I've been doing a lot of running. So I just finished a 10K run just recently. So stuff like that, and then also my kids and so on and so forth. KMI in the energy sector. Let's have a look here. KMI in the energy sector. Yeah. So this was the point down here, wasn't it? Look, that was the 2-3 years of sideways there. And then this is the reason why we've had this big move up, and now we're doing this here for a while. So I'm not sure. I'm saying I'm not sure because it's not giving me what I'm looking for. It's down the bottom here. This is when you start to get involved with it. Here, I would need to see my particular trading setup appear through here as it breaks up. So yeah. Do, 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 do. Yeah, look at that. See, this is the time to get involved with it, right? Look at this here. Look at all that. And then it broke out. Then we had a big move. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's all the same thing. But it's still the same thing for me because I'm looking for those opportunities to get into one trade and hold it for at least a few months, sometimes longer, and capitalize on a big move. And I want to get into the start of the big trend. The start. If you're a long-term trader, then why don't you buy when the stock market crashes and then buy low and sell high in the future? Carly. I have a trading system. I have a trading setup that I trade. I don't just trade because the market crashes. Now, FYI, I did buy the market when it does crash, but it's all about having a system. I have a repeatable system that I use every single time. It's not about just waiting for the crash to happen then buy. Right? And when I say I'm not a long-term trader, so to speak, most of my trades are 2, maybe 3 months. Those big long-term trades. So I'm not a real big long-term trader. But again, I have a trading setup and systems that I follow. And when they turn, then yeah. Oh, Lululemon. God, it's going to, there's good support at 0. Oh. No. Do I see a rebound coming? No. There's just massive downtrend. Nothing here. This is really, really, really weak. Really weak. This is where what do we do? We trade with the trend, right? We trade with the trend. This is where, like, I did a post just recently, guys. Let me show you here. This is where, guys, look at this here. What is this? The Dow Jones chart. The trend is your friend until the end. Lululemon goes down. And then also my latest post here as well too was this one here. Check out this. This is the gold chart. Now this is when the GDX, this is when GLD was up here. We've already started to see a bit of a correction. You're absolutely right. It took me years to learn not to jump on and out the way I made Robinhood richer. Yeah. But don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I've been trading the markets for 20 years now. That's why I am a coach. Hopefully I'm going to save you guys all that time. But you know, when we first start trading, we don't know, right? When we first start trading the markets, we don't actually know. So you go through what's called the discovery phase. So if you say less than 5 years, my first 5 years was horrible. I was learning the indicators and the swing trading and the stochastics and the MACDs and the RSIs and the moving averages and the Fibonacci's and the Elliott waves and the Gann techniques and the divergence indicators and scalping and swing trading, 1 minute trading and different option strategies and the discovery. You're discovering a lot of stuff. And after all of that, and after many years of trading and testing, what has worked for me is the way that I trade now. For two things. One, I make a big profit on one trade instead of lots of small trades. Two, if I'm not doing these videos for you guys and all my coaching program, then guess what? Then I'm off doing the other stuff. I'm generally off at the gym. I'm generally off, doing my other stuff here. And because I'm a full-time trader, that's what I do for a living. And because, as I said before, just one really good trade for me can make me a lot of money. And that one really good trade over the course of 1 to 2 months, now you're starting to talk about a 12-month period. Now we're starting to talk about some big profits there. Patience. It's always the hardest thing though. That whole patience game. All right, let me go back to, I want to go back to, how good is this? You can do it all from here. I didn't realize that. The reason why I was doing analysis today before looking at you guys is because I was checking out to see. So look here, right? This here is, right? So XOM. Look at this here. Beautiful. Look at that sideways period there. So this is where, guys, like for me, USO and the energy sector is the next market to make the next big move. Stocks are already doing that. Crypto's already doing that. Gold and silver and the mining stocks are already doing that. The next shoe to drop, I believe, is the energy and the oil sector. I just don't know when though. Remember, looking at a monthly chart here. It may take 6 more months for that thing to really start to break out and start that next big move. But the oil and the energy sector, to me, are the next markets to make the next big move. That could last 1 to 2 years once they start to break. So people are always chasing these markets that have already made big moves, like gold to the moon. Yes, I believe gold to the moon. But things like USO, XLE. This is XLE, XOM. Things like USO as well. Where's the USO? Right, USO, same thing. When we start the break, we're probably going to start the break big time. The actual stock, CVX stock. Look at this here. So once we start the break above 180, we could be getting ready for that nice new trend from there. And there's many more opportunities, guys. These are just opportunities I'm sharing with you right now. There's many more opportunities from a trading perspective that I'm looking at, and even the trade I'm in right now. It's a nice, good trading opportunity that could last a couple of months. And by the time I'm out of it, it could be up a few hundred% return. A good Christmas present for me. So far, it's gone really well. Been here for a few days, 30, 40% profit so far. We'll see how it all goes. So, do you look for stocks that are undervalued and have future potential returns? No, Carlos. No. I look for the trading pattern. So this is always the interesting thing, is, guys. Right now, I'm showing you one simple trading pattern that most of the time produces a big move. But yet, we still want to say, is it overvalued? Is it undervalued? It has a potential. What about the PE ratios and the cash flow balance sheets? And who cares? If the pattern works most of the time, that's called a successful trading system. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. And then if you mix in there big profits, small losses, you're a winner. That's the reason why I'm so successful, guys. Or that's the reason why I've done so well out of trading. Now, wasn't always like that. It was horrible when I started. So no, I don't look for that. I look for the trading pattern, because when the pattern shows me, the pattern on the chart is the thing that tells me we're likely to go. Yeah, baby. Looks like Shell. Well, let's have a look at SHEL. Is breaking out of an 18-year resistance. Yes and no. Actually, is it this one here? Okay. And then you have all of this stuff up here. So maybe. Nothing here for me as a trading, but I can see what you're looking at there. Do. Thanks for sharing your perspective. Keep up the great work. Your videos popped up in my feed because I've been buying a lot of TMF lately and was hunting for good analysis on YouTube. Oh, fantastic. Now, Joe, understand one thing, my man. This is the long-term chart on TMF. If it is going to be successful, it's going to take time. You know what I mean? It's going to take time for the interest rate to slowly come down. It's going to take time for, this is not just a real short-term trade. That's for me anyway, a short-term position. That's where I see over the next 12 months, however that works out, that's when I see this thing starting to, this is TMF here, by the way. Yeah. It's all the same thing, guys. And see, this is where, like, guys, I hope you can see, if you've been following me on YouTube for a while right now, or even just following me on this YouTube stream, I just look for the patterns that seem to repeat most of the time. And then I just wait for those things. And my job is I'm looking for those patterns that's likely to repeat, where I'm likely to have a big move over the course of 3 months, 6 months, maybe longer. And if I can take a big chunk of that big move, rinse, recycle, repeat. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, though, Joe. I see probably the way things are going, looks like the next 6 months are going to be pretty crazy on the upside in the stock market. So it's maybe the second half of next year, if you're looking for the shit hitting the fan, so to speak. But I don't think that has anything to do with anything. I don't think the shit has to hit the fan for that to happen, because rates are already coming down. Rates are already I'm not sure what you mean by that, because if you start to look at rates are coming down here. They're already in a big downward trend. Look at this here. So I'm not sure why you're waiting for the shit hit the fan, because rates are, this is the 10-year and this is the 30-year. So yes, we're getting a bit of a rallying here right now, but rates are on the way down, to me. What I think anyway. And then you see things like TLT. I see TLT bottoming out and starting to make its way up. So I don't think we need to wait for the shit hit the fan. It's slowly happening already. Rates are coming down. Right? As you heard recently, if you want to add some fundamental analysis to it, as you heard, if you watch Jerome Powell, what did he say? December QT is stopping. Right? If you've read Ray Dalio's latest LinkedIn post, you'll see how he talks out. That simply means now QE is starting back up. What does that mean? Stimulating into what? Let me show you this here. Let me show you. Let me show you. Check this out. This here is what? This here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this here right now is an article that Ray Dalio put out. One of the most successful hedge funds on the planet. You guys know that. And look what he starts off with. Did you see Fed's announcement that will stop QE and begin QE? And then you read the article and you read the article and you read the article. Look at this here, stimulating into a bubble. This is where people that are trying to think they're smarter than the market. One, the market is continuing to stay a step higher. And two, we're doing this. Now, what does that mean? They're probably going to buy bonds, bond go up, rates go down, QE, and then big blow off top in the markets. And maybe gold goes up as well too. Right? Look at this here. This time is different because the Fed will be easing into a bubble. While I expect the mechanics to work as described, the conditions in which this QE would take place is different from the one existed that they'd taken before, because this time the easing will be in the bubble rather than into a burst. More specifically, in the past, QE was deployed when asset valuations were falling, the economy was tanking, inflation was high, debt bubbles, so on and so forth. QE right now, stimulus into, so QE was a stimulus in depression. Today is the opposite. Asset valuation, so QE today is a stimulus into a bubble. So QE now would not be a stimulus into depression, but rather a stimulus into a bubble. That's why for you guys that are looking for tops in the stock market right now, one, the market is still going up, the charts are still going up. And then when you see what's really happening underneath the surface on a macroeconomic or fundamental level, so look at this here. Check this out. Check this out. It would be reasonable to expect that similar to 1999, 2000 and 2007, there would be a strong liquidity melt-up that will eventually become too risky and will have to be restrained. During that melt-up, and before the tightening, aka they start to raise interest rates again, that is enough to rein in inflation, that it will pop, that will pop the bubble, and is classically the ideal time to sell. So Ray Dalio, the most successful hedge fund manager on the planet, is giving us an article and give us a bit of a roadmap here on what's coming and what's going on moving forward. Now, just remember, when he says that, let me bring this up to here. Let's go back to the stock market. So, is it going to work for me or what? Oh, there we go. Cool. Right. So the stock market right now is continued to be in a very, very, very strong upward trend. Look at this here. High, lows, all up. And the trend is your friend until the end. Along with what we know about what's happening now, that's where, Joe, mate, one, interest rates are already coming down. Just look at the 2 year. The 2 years, this is the 2 year already. This is the 10 year, right? They're already starting to come down. Along with what's going to come into next year. This is the reason why I think the first 6 months of next year is probably going to be crazy. Like crazy bullish. And maybe even gold and silver pick back up at that time as well too. Do you have a program that can search for those patterns? I have a scanner myself that searches for my trading system that I use. Yes, That's what I do. But if you're talking about the long basing patterns for 3 years, no. Called plant your ass on the ground and go through the stocks manually. And when you start to see one, you add it to a watch list. John is the only person that explains market movement in simple terms, energy building and energy using. Because that's what it does. We go through these distribution phases like we're experiencing right now, say on this one here. And then we go through these different phases, especially in a big bull market, right? Up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Boom. Because guess what? At the end of the day, the best trades are after we've built enough energy in the markets to go for another move. People don't understand that. People are still shocked about the gold drop that's happened just recently. But it's just the same thing, right? It's just the same thing. Energy using, energy building. Energy using, we're going to go through energy building phase now. This is where the best trades are what? When we've done a bit of months of energy building, and then it starts to break out, releasing that energy. And then you capture the next big move. Right now, we're part of the energy building phase again. Yeah. It's not that hard, guys. Not that hard. Well, actually, it is hard. A lot of the times we're thinking the wrong thoughts, actually. That's the hard point about trading. We're focused on all the stuff that doesn't really matter. Me? Show me a stock that's done nothing. It's been channeling for 3 years. When it breaks out, you're probably going to go for a big move after that. Probably starting a big move. Actually, this is the trade here. Let me show you this. This is the trade here that one of my coaching clients actually took. He's actually part of my coaching room. Again, guys, if you go to getjohntop.com, that's the application for my coaching program. This is actually one of the trades that my coaching client is actually still in right now. I wonder why he got involved with it. Let's actually see here. So see this big breakout here? Look at this here. Now, look at this here. Nothing for a while. Breakout. And he's had a nice move already. This is actually World Trade. I'm pretty sure he's still in right now. He's been moving his stop up. And most people focus on stochastics and MACDs and RSIs and complicate it. Like, don't complicate it, guys. Don't complicate it. It doesn't need to be. Now, there's obviously a lot more to it here than this because I have trading rules that I go through. I have a checklist that I go through, but that's the foundation of it. Especially when you look at the weekly chart. And the weekly chart was doing what? Up, down, higher, low, up, sideways, breakout move. Energy building, energy using. Wait for the energy building phase. Once it's built energy, it's ready to go for another move. Simples. Now, it's simples to me now, but that's the reason why I have a coaching program, because I take people through a 12-month process to help them fully understand these concepts so they can identify this stuff themselves. And then when you understand that, you can identify these potential big moves that are coming. I guess the other big factor to TMF is inflation. I've been keeping a close eye on the unemployment rate, hoping the rise in unemployment finally bring inflation down. Once that happens, we should. No, man. You're way too overcomplicating it, Joe. Who cares? Interest rates are coming down. TMF and TLT have started to bottom out. You see what I'm saying, Joe? It's like, I don't care about that sort of stuff. We don't need to worry about that sort of stuff. Not for TMF anyway. TMF, baby. So we should start to see a nice rise over the next 6 to 12 months towards these little. What is that doing there? Come on now. Yeah. Plus, it's part of the cycle. Part of the cycle, meaning like, yeah. But it's going to take time, though. It's going to take time. I guess the other, yeah. See the panic interest rate drop will send TMF to the moon. Well, it's already started to happen. You know what I mean? It's like we're already in the process of that happening already now. It's not gonna just go straight down. Interest rates very rarely would do that. What's probably going to happen is we're probably going to keep stair-stepping down. Now, yes, once we do start the break, if we go here, we may go down for a bit through there, and then it's going to bounce for a bit. And then it's going to build a bit of energy, and it's going to go through an energy using phase on the downside now. So that's how it's probably going to work out overall. But Joe, this is just one trade, right? Like this is one trade here. I've got another trade right now as I speak right now in the stock market. There's also a handful of really good trading opportunities that's happening right now that I've got to watch this, stocks that I'm watching for right now. That I haven't talked about here today. I'm keeping that quiet for my 1% group because that's what I show them. So TMF is just one position that I'm seeing. So the TMF is just one position that I'm seeing over the next 12 months. There's many other trades that I'm doing right now on top of that. But that's just you get out when the mania phases starts and everyone is talking about the specific stock. Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I have entry rules and then I have certain exit rules that I start to see in the market. I don't always get the top. I never get the top. But I have specific exit trade management rules that I use that tell me when, okay, I should start to look to exit here because we may be getting ready for a top here soon. So just all rules. I admit you did see them starting to manipulate it, and you did call the latest manipulation. So hats off to you. But I think you're good at seeing the manipulation, but you're ignoring why it's manipulated. Of course, everything's manipulated. But Kilo, you can't trade based off manipulation. Manipulation's happening all the time. If you want to trade the markets, you need to have something that's going to give you some probability of success, right? If you think there's no probability of success because it's all manipulated, then don't trade the markets then. I do know you're wrong because I do know I can teach you a really simple trading pattern that when it appears, most of the time it's going to make a really nice move in that direction. So I can teach you a really simple trading pattern. So we can go down the path of manipulation, but I think manipulation is just an excuse for people that are causing manipulation are really bad traders because trading patterns give you a high probability of having a move in the markets. And then once you know how to take advantage of that, and sometimes you have losses and then you have profits. And if you can wait for these particular trading patterns that come around, no, reading the chart. You're reading a chart, not manipulation. The patterns are telling you a story. And then when you see certain patterns, then you take it. Would W, let's have a look at W, be considered to be in a channel? No way. No, no channel. Oh, I can see how you, yeah, maybe. Oh, actually, I take that back. That looks like a low point. So yes, it does look like it's in a channel. Broke out, came back, tested it. So I take that back. It's not a trade for me, by the way, because it doesn't actually meet my particular trading rules for these channel trades. Yeah. So yeah, we are definitely breaking out of the channel now. But again, for me personally, for my trading rules, it doesn't meet my trading rules. It is channeling, but it doesn't meet my trading rules to get involved with it. Because even though we have a channel, I still need to make my trading rules. Okay, well, you've proved me wrong in the past, so I'll stay. I'm not an expert. I still think gold is manipulated, but agree to disagree. Kilo, of course, it's manipulated. The whole stock market's manipulated. But how do you get ahead in the markets? You're focusing on gold. Your question should be, what is the trading pattern that if I see it in the market, it's going to give me a high probability of having a successful trade? That's the question. Not whether gold's manipulated. No, gold's not manipulated. Gold is just going through the phases here. It's called energy using and energy building. When the market goes up for quite a bit of time and it keeps going up and up and up and up and up, that's energy using, and it's going to eventually run out of time, and it's going to eventually run out of energy, and then you're going to go through an energy building phase. This is how markets work. It's not manipulated. It's just what markets do. Look at the market here. Just look at the chart. Gold's not manipulated. If you think gold's manipulated because this market dropped here right now, that's the reason why I was saying it was coming. So if you're trading the markets, it shouldn't be whether gold's manipulated. It's like trading the market's about recognizing a trading pattern that you believe in. That's how you get ahead in the markets. So, and this drop here in gold right now, no. That's the reason I was screaming for the last month as this market was coming down. We're getting ready for a big correction. It's just what markets do. Energy using, energy building. We had a really big movement through here. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I just knew this energy using phase, it's been using a lot of energy. Eventually, it's going to turn into an energy building phase, because that's what markets do. It's actually not that complicated. That's actually a really simple process. Look, this is the gold chart. The gold chart. Energy using, energy building, energy using, energy building, energy using, energy building, energy using, energy building, energy using. That's all it does. So no, gold's not manipulated. What's happening right now, you can see coming a mile away. It's not luck. Because guess what? No market just keeps going straight up. It's not going to keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that. No. Doesn't matter what the headlines say, you're going to get something like this. Were you a pain in the past, were you? You're probably one of my negative comments. Probably you and 1,000 other people. It's okay. What I teach works in the markets because it's how the markets work. That's not me making some shit up. It's what markets do. If the market's been moving in that direction for quite some time, it's already used a lot of energy. This is the wrong time to be trying to get involved in something. Wait for the time phase. Wait for the energy. Same with Barber. I saw the same thing with Barber just recently. Look. Look what happened with Baba. Look what happened with Baba. Oh, Baba. All right, here we go. Let's see. So look at Baba. Baba had a big breakout up here. Big breakout. Then it actually eventually came into a time where it actually was going to run out of steam because nothing goes straight up. No, it's not manipulation. It's just the way the markets work. And this is why after the market's been going up for a couple of weeks, it's the worst time to get involved with it up here. Because eventually it's going to turn into one of these guys, just like it did here. Wait for this phase here, then look to enter. So it's one of the reasons why my trading is so successful, guys. Because it's not that I'm reading manipulation or anything like that. It's the way these markets work. They go through phases. And then we go through these phases here, energy using, and then after a while, we'll start to go through a nothing phase for a while, distribution, and then we start another trending. Very, 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 very simple. Very simple. And if you just look at the chart, you'll be able to see that that's what markets do, even with gold. Right? Look what gold does. It goes up for a while, then we go through a sideways consolidation. We go up for a few months, sideways consolidation. Very, 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 very simple. MNMD. Yeah, I didn't see anything here. Now, again, remember, when I'm trading the markets, guys, when I'm trading the markets, you only way for you to move forward in the markets if you're using some sort of trading system. Are you entering the market today based off a trading system that you use today, tomorrow, next month, month after, next year, year after? If so, you're part of the success. If you're not doing that and you're having a guess, you think gold's is going to go to 10,000, that's where you're going to trade it. You know why you're not successful. I know you're not successful. The only way that I'm able to have some consistent success is if I have a trading system, trading patterns that I can rely on. That's the only way. That is the only way. So, man, I've been on this live stream now for 2 hours. Anyway, guys, that is it for me today. I am out of here. How do I end this thing? Where's the end button? It's not going to allow me to do it. Where is it? I'll find it. Oh, there it is there. Bye, guys.